So we're gonna tell you our birthing experience. We have 5 children, ages from 7 to 1. 4 out of 5 children are deaf, and our second to last youngest is hearing. We have 3 girls and 2 boys. Oh, she's wrong. So our second oldest and our youngest are boys. That's important to note. Oh, he's teasing me. Alright, why don't you go ahead and tell them your experience. Okay, so growing up, I always wanted to become a mother. I was always playing with dolls. I wanted to do that growing up. And so I got married. So we discussed before we got married, we'd work for 2 years, save money, find a house, and okay, our plans matched. And so we enjoyed it. We need an OPS house. Yeah, that's right. OPS. And so we found out I was pregnant and we were shocked. What do we do? We didn't know what to do. And we're like, oh yeah, we should tell our parents first. Oh yeah, that would be a good idea. And so we were both excited and thinking, okay, so what's the plan? We're staying positive. Okay, so it was awkward. This was our first time expecting. I found a woman's doctor, OBGYN. I'd never been to one, so I had to find that doctor in the city. And so in the area, I found 5 different doctors, and so I went to each one. And I didn't know who my interpreter was, but I knew a woman. She had interpreted for her husband, but she had never been for this type of an appointment. But she said that she would come along. So she went to all the appointments with me. And so in the appointments we discussed what we wanted the birthing plan to look like. So me and my husband, we discussed it. He would cut the umbilical cord. I wanted a natural birth. And so we got in there, and the nurse changed everything, started shaking her head back and no. And so me and my husband, we just looked at each other. So the nurse hold on, let me interject. So the nurse gave us a sheet about a birthing plan, and so the nurse told us that that she couldn't do this and that she couldn't do that, and we were just very confused. And this was our first time, so we didn't really understand, but we had envisioned something different, and it was messed up. It was just awkward. So we patiently waited, and then we waited, and we waited, and we waited. So 21 weeks, it went by fast, she said 41 weeks. I went in to see the doctor. I was 41 weeks, and they wanted to induce me because I was done growing. And so we were excited. So we went in. We went to the hospital. That's right. Wait. Hold on. That your mother and my mother, they went with us because we didn't know what we were doing. That's right. And your sister, my husband's sister, she came and was the interpreter for us. So we go to be induced, and we thought it was going to be fast and hard. We were misinformed. We didn't really understand. And so we waited and we waited. And nurses kept coming in and out, and we were wondering when the baby would be born. And so we had these high hopes and these feelings of a quick and being induced quickly. Yeah, we had all this energy in the morning, he said, and we were just ready to go, and nothing happened. Yeah, my husband was right, nothing happened, right? We were like, come on, something needs to happen. What, does she need to be given a different medication? They gave her Pitocin, they gave her that shot, and it was successful. And then she started having contractions, and they They were quick. And then I remembered that we had gone to this first parents class, and it was how the breathing was very important. I was like, okay, so we need to be breathing, saying 1, 2, 1, 2. He said 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh yeah, I remember that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And so me and my wife, we're both in this room. And so our mothers were sitting over there, and I'm over here counting 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and she's over here, my wife's over here breathing, having a contraction, and let me interject, I was having a natural birth and wanting to, I was trying to stay strong, and my husband, he was over here, I was over here trying to count, and I was looking at our mothers having a conversation, and so my wife hit me and says, pay attention, this is important, you've got to count. And so I'm over here and we're breathing, we're getting back trying to breathe, and I'm trying to count and everything, and she's breathing, she's continued, she's still breathing, she's getting through contractions. I continue, and I'm sweating, and I say, I give up, I'm trying to continue, and just thinking about how I was breathing, just continuing, and I finally told my husband, I said, I give up, I want an epidural. Yeah, she had been here all day long and all night with no epidural. So now I wanted an epidural, and I had envisioned that I'd have a natural birth with no epidural. But I needed it to help with the pain. So I had sat up in the bed, and I was told not to move, and I was having a contraction, so I was sitting there on the bed, and I was thinking, trying not to move, and I was having a contraction. I was like, hurry, 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 and they stuck the needle in my back, and I couldn't feel anything but the epidural. It hurt, but I couldn't feel my contraction, but I felt the epidural. So I asked, how fast, when will the pain go away? Hurry, 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 hurry. I wanted the pain to go away. And my husband said, and it just gradually went away. It did. It gradually went away, and I was all smiles after that. I was just positive and all smiles after that epidural. Oh yeah, and it continued all night again, like 3:40, 3:21 in the morning. That's right. You remember why? The nurse, the woman, and the man, you're gonna finish. We're gonna need hurry. All night and all day, we need to further this along, so we're gonna schedule you for a C-section. So I remember one time I had read something about a C-section, but it was so long ago. So we're like, what do we do? I was crying, emotional. So yeah, we went ahead with it. It was strange. She decided, so I'm going to let my husband tell this part. So we go into the C-section. They've laid her out, her arms on either side of her. They had a sheet from her chest up so she couldn't see anything, and I could look around it. She wasn't able to sign because her hands were strapped to either side. And so I see that they've made an incision, and they just keep cutting. And so then they open her up, and they're having to move some things around. She's just laying there looking around. And so I looked back around the sheet, and I looked at the interpreter, and the nurses were just talking, and talking about their kids and their jobs. And I looked, and I thought it was neat. And so I see they're doing something, and then the baby's head pops up. The baby head pops up. Oh, that's amazing. It was our daughter. At the time we didn't know if it was a boy or a girl. But I see the baby's head. I told my wife, And so they brought the baby, they got the baby out, and I exclaimed, "It's a girl, it's a girl." And so I followed where they took my daughter, or I quickly changed and I went around to the nursery window, and I was looking for my baby. I was looking for a face that looked maybe like mine. And so I went back to my wife, and she was with the interpreter. And so I was able to hold the daughter, and I brought our daughter over to my wife. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I couldn't sign, and so I was speaking to the interpreter, and I was speaking and speaking. So I was like, what's happening? Can I see my daughter? And I was stuck. I had envisioned this natural birth with and the C-section happened. Everything had just not gone according to plan. And then I was like, we had a girl. I was thinking all along we were having a boy, and now we're having a daughter, and I was just so excited. And so so I was having to lay there after my C-section, and I kept getting cold, and then I was freezing, and then I was warm. Then it just kept switching back and forth, and so I was having. So I was asking, when can I see my daughter? And I was just hoping time would fly by, and finally I was able to see my daughter, and I cried tears of joy after that. So, and you remember the last part about the hearing test? You remember? Oh man. So the nurse walks in, she has a very solemn look on her face, and so does the interpreter, and she goes, "I'm sorry, your daughter failed the hearing test." Oh God, I was shocked, and I said, "Oh, right, yeah." And the nurse was startled, and she was like, okay, excuse me. Yeah, that's right, you were very excited. Excuse me, you know that you're gonna have to raise a deaf daughter? I was like, she was ignorant. It was unbelievable. And me and my wife, we just looked at each other.